have a passion towards teaching actually, and I love to help my students and my teacher colleagues to improve their professions and to be always up to date and to develop their skills in order to enjoy their profession, because actually teaching is a very hard job. And I believe you agree with me, Mr. Muhammad, in this regard. And I don't think if you don't love this profession, I don't believe you are going to be good at it. So it requires a passion and a love, and that you feel yourself while teaching. So I worked on myself from the very start. I once I finished my bachelor, I completed my bachelor degree. Then I heard about CELTA. I got CELTA, and then masters from the University of Sunderland. Then I went through Delta Module 2, and then currently I'm doing my PhD in applied linguistics.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
This is in brief about myself.
So today you're going to talk about the 7 habits of effective or most effective or highly effective people. So let me ask you a question that came to my mind when I got the topic.
Sure.
Why 7?
Thank you for this question. Why 7? Just to shed light on the topic. The topic is inspired, Mr. Muhammad, by the renowned author Stephen Covey. He actually noticed that successful people share certain traits and qualifications, and he collected these into 7 habits and categorized them into 3 categories. So he believed that in order to be efficient, effective, and successful people share these habits. Like, for example, I ask you, Mr. Muhammad, MashaAllah, you are very successful. Tell me, how did you become successful like this? You tell me 1, 2, 3, and then I go to another one, and another one, another one. Then he collected the common traits and qualifications, and as I told you, he categorized them into 3 main categories and 7 habits. That's why there are 7, the 7 common ones.
It's based on research.
Yes, it's based on research and case studies. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. So, what is a habit?
Actually, a habit is something that we do easily, regularly, and consistently. Like, for example, I go to the gym. So when it's time and date for the gym, I find myself going and wearing the gym clothes and just going to the gym. If people are bad habits like smoking, for example, they just feel like it's time to smoke. So they do it easily and consistently. And in order to develop regularly, yes. And in order to actually to develop, some people stick to their old habits. They are fixed mindset. So in order to develop a new habit, you need to have 3 different points, actually, or 3 different skills. The first point is experience.
Could you please raise your voice? Because in the chat, they're asking you to raise your voice. I'm so sorry.
Sure. Okay.
That's fine.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I was saying that in order to develop a new habit, because, as teachers, we need to be up to date. I think not only teachers, but all people need to be up to date. Like, for example, a surgeon, physician, a teacher, a lawyer, anyone needs to be up to date. So in order to develop a new habit, you need to get 3 things in mind. Number 1, experience, skill, and the willing to do these things, the desire to do that. And if you allow me to share my screen, Mr. Muhammad.
Yes, from which account?
I can share it.
Yeah, you can share it with your co-host. Both of them.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay. Second. Okay. So actually, he developed what he called. Okay. He developed what he called maturity continuum. Maturity continuum that happens within the 7 habits. The 7 habits move us progressive on maturity continuum from dependence, independence, and interdependence. When we are children, we depend on our parents, with our elder brothers and sisters, and then we develop our own independence until we grow older, and then we become dependent on each other. So the seven habits are: be proactive, begin with the end in mind, put first things first, think win-win, seek first to understand, then to be understood, synergize, and finally sharpen the saw. These are the seven habits. And as I told you, Mr. Muhammad, and our dear guests here, that he has categorized them into three main categories. The first categories, or the first three habits, fall under the personal victory. The other three habits under, or they categorized under the name of group or team victory. And finally, sharpen the saw, he give it a category, and it's called practice or relaxation. Let's go first with being proactive. Let me ask you first, what is meant by being proactive? Actually, being proactive, or let's ask another question. What is the difference between being proactive and being reactive? Actually, being proactive, let me just give an example on this. If my manager in my school or wherever I work insulted me, the reactive person would simply insult him back, or beat him, or maybe go to resign, and he will do something immediately, and he might regret later he did that thing. So the difference actually between being proactive and interactive is this. Look at this. This is the stimulus and the response. The first one is the reactive. The second is the proactive. What do you notice here? There is a space in the proactive focus. There is a space between a stimulus and the response. What is the benefit of this space actually? Like, for example, let's get back to our example. My manager insulted me. I didn't give myself any space to think of alternatives and options. I only had one option, which is I have to take revenge. This is against my dignity, so I have to react immediately. So I beat him, I insult him, I resign, and then I regret later. But the proactive person actually would give himself this kind of freedom to choose. And this is actually the importance of being proactive. Being proactive means simply just hold on, wait. Don't go through decisions right now. Just give yourself some time to think, some time to consider other alternatives and options. And this is the difference between being reactive and being proactive. If you are proactive, you might consider other options, like I'm not saying that this is right, but you might think of blackmail your manager, or take it against him one day and just keep it in your chest until it's the right time to release whatever you have. So this is the difference between the two different characters, right? Being proactive, there is, as we said, there's a space between the stimulus and the response. Don't respond immediately. And maybe that's why, Mr. Muhammad, we find a good manager would always say, okay, let me think and get back to you. Let me think and consider other options, and then I will reply later. But maybe a less qualified manager would give you a response immediately.
So,
furthermore,
Mr. Muhammad,
yes,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no problem.
Can we say that this comes by experience in life? I mean, when I'm young, I used to be like this person who would kill his manager.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
Now I think a lot before taking any kind of reaction, because I have other things, other considerations. I have a family.
Yes.
I have a lot of things to think about before taking this action. So can we say that experience in life takes part in this in becoming proactive, or is it something that we learn?
Yeah, because cumulative experience actually help us to consider what we used to ignore before. Like, for example, and as you said, when I was young, I have less experience, I'm passionate, I would react immediately. But now with experience and after a lot of regret, actually, because of the rushing decisions, now I think I don't want to regret. So what is the solution? Be proactive. How to be proactive? Just give yourself
Give yourself
space
some
and
time
time,
to think.
some time and space to have the freedom of choice. Uh, Furthermore, that something that Stephen Covey added to this is that um, proactive people, or actually he explained two circles in our life. The circle of concern, as you can see. Can you see my screen, Mr. Muhammad?
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the circle of concern and the circle of influence. What is the difference between circle of concern and circle of influence? Circle of concern is something that you have no control upon, like, for example, the war that is between Ukraine and Russia, the currency prices and the oil prices, and the problems and issues and concerns that you have no control upon. It is not under your control. It is not under your influence. This is the circle of concern. The circle of influence is something that you can control, something you can change, update, upgrade. This is the circle of concern. So, do you think proactive people would have a larger circle of concern or a minor one?
I
Okay.
guess, yeah.
Yeah. As you can see here, reactive people, or the reactive focus, would think a lot of something he doesn't have any control upon. So he would think of other issues that he cannot change or he cannot modify, and he will be worried a lot. He will be anxious all the time because he's concerned with something that he cannot update, something he cannot change and control. While, and as you can see, he waits until uh, to be codependent. The proactive focus is like this. This is the circle of influence. He focuses on his own circle of influence, things that he can develop. And let's refer to teachers here and teaching English. Like, for example, um, the school is bad, they pay low salaries, and there's a lot of negative energy going around. What is the solution? The solution is that, can I do anything towards this? No, but I can work on myself. My circle of influence is to develop myself, my skills, to be a good teacher. Students can say good things about me, get updated with a lot of up-to-date and state-of-art technology in order to improve my profession and skill. So this is the circle of influence. So as a teacher, focus on what you can influence, not what, on the circle of concern. All right. So this is to be proactive. Do you think reactive people would talk the same like proactive people? No, there is a difference between the reactive and proactive language. Actually, reactive language is like, there's nothing I can do. You will find always reactive people telling you this. Sorry, I cannot do it. Did you try other options? No. This is the only thing I can do. That's the way I can do it. And so on, like, I have to do, I can't, I must. But proactive language will differ. Proactive person would tell you, let's consider other options, let's try this, I can choose a different way, I control, I can, and so on. So this is the difference between the two languages, actually. So if you are a supervisor or a teacher trainer, or even a teacher, you can differentiate which character you are facing by the language they are using. Is it reactive or proactive? The second skill in the personal victory actually is begin with the end in mind. When you start anything, you have to actually identify what are your goals. So this is the habit of personal leadership. Simply, it means that you have to set your personal mission, vision, and objectives. And your objectives must be smart. So, like for example, I have graduated and now I'm looking to be a good teacher. So I have to put the end in mind. My end is to be like, for example, a teacher trainer, CELTA tutor, or whatever I want to be. So I have to put this in mind, and after that, I work towards achieving this. And if you don't know where you are going, how well you know when to get there? So you have to know where you are going, put the end in mind.
So,
Number
Mr.
three,
Muhammad, I'm sorry,
yes,
this is something like strategic management. You have to set your
yes,
goals, to put
yes,
something in front of your eyes that you want to reach. So this will
exactly,
happen, because if you don't have a big goal at the end, you will never move
yes,
forward. This is what I
exactly,
simply. Yeah.
exactly. And adding to what you actually said, which is very valuable, you need also to know your order to reach there. Like, for example, we hear a lot of teachers saying, is it CELTA or TESOL or TEFL? I asked myself this question, Mr. Muhammad, do I have to get Delta or Masters is enough? So this actually is identified by your goal. This is identified by your objectives. What do you want to, like, for example, if you want to work for a university, then Masters would go for priority.
Yeah.
If you want to work for entities and bodies like British Council or other places that consider Delta, then go for it. So it depends on your goal. Number three, the last habit of the personal victory is put first things first, which simply means what? Prioritization. This is again, we lose a lot of time, and we waste actually a lot of time doing this. That's why Stephen Covey actually classified our tasks into this structure. I believe that most of us are familiar with it. In our tasks, Mr. Muhammad, we have things that are important and urgent at the same time, things that are not important but urgent, something important but not urgent, and something not important and not urgent. And he advised to deal with these four categories by the four Ds. The four Ds. And we are going to just give example like this. Something important and urgent like crisis. Something not important but urgent like needless interruptions, unnecessary reports. Something important but not urgent like planning, prevention, PC activities. Something not important and not urgent, then like some phone calls. How to deal with this? The four Ds. What is the fourth D? That's something important and urgent. What do I have to do? Just do it. If something that is important and urgent, then I have to do it. Okay, something important but not urgent, I can delay it. So this is the second D, actually, delay it.
Yeah.
Something not important but urgent. What do I have to do here? You can ask someone else to do it for you, like delegate. Something not important, not urgent, you can simply remove it from your schedule, from your life. You can simply delete it. So the four Ds are do, delay, delegate, and delete. This is how to work on your tasks. Like, for example, I need to get CELTA in order to be hired at a university, whether in Gulf area or in Egypt or anywhere. So this is something important and urgent, just do it. If it is something, then it's important but not urgent, they can delay it. Yeah, it's important to get my master's, but CELTA is a priority. So it is important, but it's not urgent. So let's just delay it, and so on. So this is how to deal actually with your tasks in your life, whether in teaching, family, business, whatever. Then you have to consider this. This is very useful. And Stephen Covey actually made the famous experiment. You can find it on YouTube. He asked his students and followers to bring a glass jar, and he filled it with a big rocks, as you can see. And he asked his students, do you think the jar is full? They said yes. He said no. And then he started to put some smaller rocks. So the smaller rocks penetrated the bigger ones, and he asked them again, do you think now the jar is full? They said, yes, of course, it's full. He said, no, actually, it is not yet. He started to put some sand and then some water until finally he said, yes, now the jar is full. How can we benefit from this experiment? We benefit from this by when you have urgent and important things, they are the bigger rocks. So start with them, because if you fill the glass jar with the smaller rocks, there is no space for the bigger ones. If you start with less important tasks, there is no space, there's no time, there is nothing to do with the bigger ones, which actually have more priority than other smaller rocks. So what is the point here? Put the big rocks first. So these are the 3 habits of the personal victory. What are they? Just very quick summary. The first habit is being proactive. Being proactive simply means that you give yourself a space of time and freedom of choice. Don't react immediately. The second habit is what I forgot. The second habit is put first things first, which is prioritize your tasks and whatever you need to do. Now let's go to the habits of public victory. Number 1, think win-win.
Can I ask you a question? I'm sorry.
Yes, please. Yes.
So the first part, the first 3 habits here are about myself.
Exactly, yes.
How
personal
I
victory
control or manage myself.
Yes.
Now we're going to move to something that's related, maybe as I understood, to dealing with others.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
This is actually how to work together and being in a team, because maybe you are a very good, and actually I met these people, Mr. Muhammad, they are very good. They are excellent. They are amazing teachers, but they cannot achieve the spirit of the teamwork, and they cannot work with others. And this is a big shame, and this is actually a big problem that hinder their progress and development. So Stephen Covey actually introducing these 3 habits of the team victory or group victory. Let's call it team victory. I like this word actually, because working in a team is a very good, it's a blessing actually. So the first habit of working in a team is what? Think win-win. Sometimes when you argue with someone, he will tell you, okay, and he has something in mind. He wants you to lose, and by making you lose, he thinks that he has won. But because you lost this debate, discussion, deal, or whatever, you are preparing to take revenge, and then in the next time you are very keen to win and I lose. So what is the best way to handle this? Actually, there are 6 philosophies in this human interaction, or 6 modes of communication. Number 1, win-win. It means that we both win. Number 2, win-lose. You win and I lose. Number 3, lose-win. I lose and you win. Number 4, lose. It means no one of us wins actually. Number 5, just one person wins. And number 6, win or no deal. So what do you think the best way of communication here? Of course, it is the win-win situation, or the you need to bring in mind that when we communicate, the best thing to do is that we both actually have victory, not only one. A win-win character consists of 3 traits. In order to enjoy this kind of win-win attitude, and let me focus on attitude, especially in teaching, because some people, again, are very good teachers, but they have negative attitude. And in order to have a positive win-win attitude, you need to enjoy 3 traits. Number 1, integrity. Number 2, maturity. And number 3, abundance mentality. And let me focus here, Mr. Muhammad, with abundance mentality and explain the difference between abundance mentality and scarce mentality. Abundance mentality, like what? The abundance mentality is empowering people, following the 3 don'ts. So the abundance mentality people, they follow 3 don'ts. The first don't is don't compare. compare my salary to other colleagues' salary. I don't compare my certificate to another colleague's salary. I don't compare myself to other people. Comparison in this context is really tiring. It's exhausting. It's disappointing and frustrating, and even sometimes devastating. And number two, don't compete. Of course, we need to compete, but Stephen Covey means here, don't be too competitive. Don't be too competitive. And if you allow me just to give an example here of a very famous situation that happened between Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. Steve Jobs, one day, he displayed, he made a video conference, and all of a sudden, the audience saw Bill Gates on the screen, the big screen in the meeting hall. They started to be angry and they shout against Bill Gates because, you know, Microsoft is a very strong competitor to Apple. And after they calmed down, Bill Gates actually announced that he is going to give Apple a donation of lots of millions of dollars. I don't remember exactly, but he made a very big donation to Apple. So from this, actually, it means that I don't have, in order to be bright, I don't have to kill you. We both can succeed. We both can, the market can encompass us all. It is not only you or nothing. If you have to be successful, then you have to be, the other competitor must be failure. So you have to have this in mind, that don't compete, don't be too competitive. Don't think like, okay, if I want to be number one, then I have to remove, eliminate, and get rid of my competitors. We can both live, we can both succeed, and we can all be bright. This is the abundance mentality, and this is abundance mentality people. How do they think? Number three, don't criticize. Don't be critical all the time. Don't criticize, even with your children. Don't criticize your children a lot. Don't criticize yourself a lot. Don't criticize the surrounding environment and milieu. Just, yes, you need to criticize, but don't be too critical. This is the point. The second habit of the team victory, which is habit number 5 in the 7 habits, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Actually, Mr. Muhammad, we lack this trait in our life a lot. Some people really, they seek to be understood first, but the correct thing is seek first to understand, then to be understood. And again, here, there are 5 modes of communication among people. The first thing is ignoring. When you speak to me, I ignore you. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to get your idea. I don't care. Number 2, pretend listening. Pretend listening simply means that I'm listening, I'm nodding my head, but I'm not actually listening. I'm pretending. Number 3, which I would reckon this as the most dangerous one, is the selective listening. It's like لا تقربوا الصلاة. It means that I listen to what I want to listen. I don't want to your complete inner view or point of view or the whole picture. I just select what I want to understand. Number 4, which is positive, attentive listening. I listen carefully. And number 5, empathetic listening. So what is the difference between attentive listening and empathetic listening? Attentive listening, I listen to you carefully until you finish. Then I understand you, and then I start to offer the counter concept or the opposite idea. But empathetic listening, actually, I empathize with you. I put myself in your shoes. I know where you stand exactly. I fully understand what you are trying to say, and then I respond back. Like, for example, dealing with different cultures, listening and maybe arguing with people who are different or who have different opinions and concepts than us. So seek first to understand, then to be understood.
No, Dr. Muhammad?
Yes.
If we apply this, number 5, only number 5, 80% of the problems in our lives will end. Really,
definitely,
even with our at home, with our wives and husbands, with our kids, with our
exactly,
kids. Just I'm talking about myself. I don't listen. I have this problem. And when I start listening, when the other one insists on me listening, I just do what's called selective listening. Because I have an idea that controls my mind. So I just pick things that serve this idea. And this is a very big problem. You've just opened my eyes to now. I have to learn how to go to number 4 and 5. That's important. Thank you.
Very, very important. You know, Mr. Muhammad, I have friends. They are friends. They are very good friends of mine, actually, but they don't listen. Really, they interrupt you a lot. They interrupt you a lot.
That's
sometimes
me.
I was like, yeah. So the best way of communication here actually is to be empathetic. Empathetic means, okay, I understand. Maybe you are saying this because you have no establishment with the other person, so you are against him. So I try to convince you otherwise, and so on. But if you are talking against him, that bad, that means you are bad. You are not faithful to him. You are. So you need to understand the ground I'm standing on. So this is.
I'm sorry again. Can we just ask our guests today?
Please,
go back to the previous slide, because I want them to confess. What kind of listening do you do? Write in the chat. Yalla. What kind of listening do you always do? Our guests. Hello. Yalla, confessed. I confessed. I always go to number 1, and then when the other one insists, I go directly to number 3. So which kind of listening do you do? I'm waiting for your replies in the chat. MashaAllah, Ms. Nuran, number 5. Mr. Rado, my family's day. Attentive, Mr. Muhammad. Okay. Ms. Amira, number 3. Selective, Confessions, Ms. Mayar. Okay. Mr. Kamal, number 1. Brave man. Isra, number 2. Pretending.
Ignoring.
Attentive, Ms. Radwa. Okay, great. Mr. Khalid, number 3. Selective. My friend. Mr. Kareem, pretend. Okay. Hello, بتنفض يعني. Okay. Go on. Mr. Fent, number 2. Miss Yumna, number 1.
Okay.
Great. So most of us have this problem. So wallahi, let's try to do it. Let's try to apply what we learned here today from Dr. Muhammad. Let's try to listen to people. Try to understand them first. Then to be understood. Thanks a lot, Muhammad.
Yes.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I just wanted
No worries at all. I enjoyed this discussion, actually, and I'm very happy with the honesty of our guests, actually. Okay, let's go to number 6, or the last habit of the team victory category, which is what? Okay. Synergize. Synergize here simply means, Mr. Muhammad, that we work together, and we work together effectively. By the way, working together is not always good. It's not always positive. It's not always productive. We can work together, but in a harmful way. Let me give you an example of the car accelerator and the car brake. If you press on the accelerator and the car brake at the same time, what will happen? Your legs are working together, but they are not working synergetically. They are working opposite each other. They are working in a negative way. And this is what is meant by a negative synergy. So synergy means working together effectively, because again and again, working together is not always successful. Working together doesn't mean that we must be effective. No, we can work together, but we don't like each other, or we are in vain doing the same exact thing. So it is not effective. It's not productive. So by synergy here, or the positive synergy, means that 1 plus 1 equals what, Mr. Muhammad?
It should be 2.
No, in synergy, 1 plus 1 equals 3, 5, or 10. It means, like, for example, Mr. Muhammad, if you are good in PowerPoint and I'm good in Excel, so you do this task and I do that task, this is the positive way of synergizing. So if you are a team leader, if you are a manager, or even if you are a teacher in a classroom, you have to think of positive synergy and how to utilize every single skill, talent, or experience you have, whether in a work environment or classroom environment. You have to think that 1 + 1 should equal 5 or
as Mr.
10.
Kamal is saying we complete each other's.
Exactly. We complete and complement. Because maybe you are in a team, but we are delaying the job. We are doing the same thing. We don't know how to do it, and so on. So this is not the positive way. So synergy here, there is more energy and efficiency in teamwork. Principles of creative cooperation. The essence of synergy is to value differences. You have to value the differences between the team members. Synergetic communication and the negative synergy. We talked about negative synergy. Now, look at this. This is another mode of communication Stephen Covey is introducing to us. The first point is hostility. Hostility here, it means that I don't like you, I hate you. Here, 1 + 1 equals -1 or -1 or -10 or even -100. It depends on the level of hatred inside you towards me or towards the team member. The second point is defensive communication. Here, 1 + 1 equals 0.5. I didn't do that. It is not my fault. It is the HR job. It's not my job. Why are you blaming me? So you are defending your maybe deficiency or delay of work or whatever. The third point is respectful communication.
Muhammad?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, but we can't see. You stop sharing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I get disconnected. Just give me a minute, please.
Okay.
Muhammad. Yes.
So let me have a kind of discussion with our guests here today. So which of you has any of these habits? We've discussed about 6 of them so far. So do you think that you have any of them? Even one to be a successful person. We talked about the listening things. No one has anything. Sure. Nothing about think win-win. That's good, Ms. Nuran. Think win-win. Yes. You don't need to win every time. Put things first. Put first things first. Yeah, great, Ms. Amira. What about the others? And also think win-win. What about the rest of our guests today? Nothing? Hey, انتوا يا جماعه ايه متسحرين محشي وبط ولا ايه؟ مالكم كده؟ Ms. Isra, my negative point is to pay more attention to the circle of concern. Yeah, this is a negative point that might affect your success rather than the circle of influence. This is great. So I hope that starting from today, you can change this thing. Why we should think of win-win all the time? Because, you know, Dr. Muhammad can answer this, but from my point of view, we live with other people. So if we try to win all the time, so other people need to win too. So win-win doesn't mean that I lose. It means that we both win, you know? But our victory will be less than that we wanted. It doesn't have to be that big, you know, it can be this and the other one also wins. Ms. Nuran misses the habit of being proactive. Ms. Sana, it's about the 6 habits that we've discussed so far. Do you have any of them? Ms. Marwa, setting priorities and try to compromise with other sides to fit in all together. Yeah, that's also a big problem. Do you do that? You can set your goals I mean, it's not something. Yeah, that's fine. And let's read Mr. Kamal said, Fatima, do you think we have to win and encourage others to win? Dr. Muhammad can answer this question. They are all very important, but we choose which.
Hi, Mr. Muhammad.
It's okay. You're back. We can see your slide now.
Yeah. Good. So what was the question? Sorry.
The question was, why do we have to choose this win-win? Why don't we always win?
Actually, I heard your answer, and I really can add nothing to this. Because, as you said, if you win now, the others need to win. And another point to add here is that we need to enjoy this kind of abundance mentality. It means that in order to be successful, you don't have to eliminate the other. You don't have to kill the other competitors, because if you win now, and if you are on top now, others, you cannot do that all the time, and you need others to support you one day. And this is exactly what happened to Steve Jobs. He supported his competitor. Bill Gates supported him, and by the way, these millions actually helped Apple a lot in their endeavors to get back to the top. So this is the respectful communication means 1 plus 1 equals 1.5. When we respect each other, when we try to reach a compromise, it's not your mistake, it's not my fault, but it's something that we can work on. Then 1 plus 1 equals 1.5. When 1 plus 1 equals 3, 10, or 100, when synergy, the third alternative, when we consider third alternatives, like for example, as the example I said, that we know different skills, so we utilize them in order to achieve our common target. It is not you, it is not me, it is us. And how do we synergize and work together effectively? Okay, the last habit of the 7 habits, which he categorized in a different category, actually, which is sharpening the saw. You know, if you have a blunt knife, it will not cut anything. It will not help you. On the contrary, it will delay you. So by sharpening the saw here, he is actually introducing 2 concepts here. The first concept is, the first concept is practice. The second concept is, let me stop share here because the second concept here, Mr. Muhammad, is the first concept is practice, and the second concept is just relax. For example, what you practice, you'll be good at. If you practice poetry, writing, you'll be good at writing. If you practice teaching methodologies, you'll be good at them. If you practice football, basketball, whatever, you will be good at this. So by this 7th habit, actually, Stephen Covey is saying that what you practice, you will be good at. So in order to sharpen your saw, like for example, sometimes as teachers, I'm always referring to teachers because I'm taking these 7 habits in order to inspire teachers, actually. It can inspire any profession or all people, but the focus here with Let's Academy is on teachers. Am I right?
Yes.
So as a teacher, Mr. Muhammad, sometimes you find yourself blunt. I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah.
You find yourself, let me talk about myself. Sometimes I'm boring. I don't have the same enthusiasm I used to find with teachers, with students. I find myself that I need really to do something different, something special, something to attract and get the attention of my students or colleagues. So how to sharpen the saw, how to sharpen your knife and sword, what to do? 2 things. Number 1, practice different methodologies, practice different up-to-date strategies, and practice makes perfect. The second thing is to disconnect sometimes, to have your own vacation and just forget about anything, just to disconnect.
Yeah.
That's very important. Yes, because some people, Mr. Muhammad, believes that when they work and work a lot, this will add actually to their to the work benefit or to the business interest, and this is not true. By experience and by research, when you have some time off, when you disconnect, this will recharge your energy and power, and this actually will consider this will help you to consider, and we'll get back. You will be back with very good and very good power, and also you will try to find something new. You will have a new spirit, and you will find yourself a new person. But if you keep working all the time without stop, this is not good. This is not good at all. So, in order to summarize, how to sharpen the saw: practice good and updated strategies and be updated. Number two, just relax,
Have some
disconnect
time to yourself.
sometimes,
Have some
have
time to
some time
yourself.
off. Yes, yes. I heard about. Have you heard about the stupid village? It was an idea about one of the Egyptian authors actually. Stupid village simply, it's against the smart village, because everything related to technology in our life, it is smart, like smartphone, smart board, smart whatever. So he created an idea which he called the smart village, the stupid village, where you go and you take off your technology when you enter. And if you are caught with any technology device, you have to pay a big fine, a lot of money, a big amount of money. So there you just to relax and enjoy your days off or your vacation
Naturally.
without technology. Yeah.
Yeah, to enjoy natural life.
Exactly. Yes. Without any, because some people when they go on vacation, they are using their mobiles to follow up the business or the deals or even what's going on and what's happening. This is not a vacation, my friend. This is not a time for you.
It's the
This
same thing.
is, yeah, it's not sharpening the saw here. You are not sharpening the saw. The saw is still blunt. How to sharpen it? Just give yourself really some time off completely. Just forget you are working this career and enjoy yourself. This will help business, will help you, and will make you a better and different person. So these are the 7 habits, and that's it.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Muhammad. We really enjoyed that today. And I
Thank you very
myself
much.
benefited from these 7 habits because I will try to apply some of them. I could find some problems that I used to suffer from, but no one ever pointed at them to me. Today, you just you shed light on these dark points that I personally have in my character, and I will try to work on them. And I guess our guests too. To do that, it was an honor to have you with us, Dr. Muhammad, and we wish that we have you with us again and again, inshallah. Thanks a lot.
My honor. Thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad. I'm one of your fans and this academy and Mr. Fan. I really appreciate your valuable invitation, and it's always my honor to participate with you. And thank you for our dear guests as well. Thank you.
Inshallah, will be with us again and again. Okay, tomorrow, inshallah, we have another fruitful session with Dr. Hani, Dr. Hani Hussein. It's about teacher competencies required for 21st century classroom. This will be great. It's about the modern classroom, how to be a 21st century teacher. But tomorrow's session will be at 11 Cairo local time, 12 Saudi Arabia. Tell your friends, tell your teachers, tell whoever is interested in teaching. It's not only about English, it's about teaching in general. So we will be happy to have you with us tomorrow, inshallah, with another special guest like Dr. Muhammad that we have today with Dr. Hani. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Don't be late. Stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.